All good, all good. So, as you come into this fight, right? Portal opens. You don't go through the portal. I think that's great because of where it's positioned. If it was like on the back high ground, then I'd say like go through it because you need to like be able to see things. But because they put it smack dab in the middle of point, this kind of keeps you out of the brawl, and you can kind of still shoot things pretty easy. Now you have a few options here. First, if you're gonna stay on this side of the portal, I would say you probably want to be putting down your little turrets so that you can put down your octopi so that you can get pumping out damage. Do you throw it in? You throw them out onto point, which I don't think is the way to go because then they're just gonna get destroyed immediately. Just if not because they're getting targeted, just because of all of the chaotic spam damage that's flying everywhere. So let's see how fast it lasts. It's probably it's instantly dead, right? So yeah, so they instantly do
Yeah.
nothing. So if you're gonna sit here, place them where you're at, and then then they'll just be able to, as long as this portal's open, they'll be able to just spam damage in and consistently get damage, which will just be good for the fight. Just good to have that damage pumping out. Oh, so we jump out here. My suggestion was gonna be, and we're immediately like 1 HP as soon as we leap out.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. If you're gonna leap out, I probably would recommend like, because we're just in the brawl, almost immediately going. Darn it, I don't know all of the ability names yet. Immediately going into your fly up circle mode, right, where you go up in the sky,
Oh, yep.
and trying to take like a high ground and get out of the fight, but obviously you just get shredded immediately there. That sucks.
Yeah. I was playing with my cousins here, and they said to go through the portal. Probably wasn't a good idea,
Yeah,
but
yep. Just kind of jumped straight into the fray. So yeah, I agree. It probably would have been better just to stay on the other side, or if you were gonna go through, like just jump through and immediately press that button so you're invincible.
What have you summoned now, Namor? Protect you!
Okay, so we're going on the flank. They haven't noticed it yet. So pretty decent. Minor point could keep the your octopi a little bit further just because they do have a lot of range on them. We can maybe go over that later, but let's see how it goes. Nice. I like that flank angle. That all thing is you get a free pick.
yeah, there I was trying to just focus the healer so we can get a push going.
Have my own subjects turned against me?
I guess looking at this now, my octopus could be in a different spot.
That's okay. The fight was pretty much over then.
Today, Namor stands.
Stop that vehicle in its tracks.
I will not fail them.
Reek of desperation, Namor.
I picked this game in particular because one of the people I was playing with, random, said that I was playing by myself too much. So I felt like I was trying to get more so picks and for the team, but it was, yeah.
Yep, so far it's going smooth at this point.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this one is a primarily DPS game, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was only DPS on this game.
Have my own subjects turned against me?
That's unfortunate. Somebody broke your wall right there.
I am ready to
Yeah.
So you see they're ulting. Honestly, it's fine. They just take and chill for a second. There's not much you can do while they're doing that.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Okay, so it's unfortunate. We start chasing after the kill when you're really low health, so we're like 1 HP and we're kind of running after her here. Honestly, when we could have alternatively, I'm trying to remember how to free roam on here. Controls. Where's free roam? Maybe I have to change up the controls at some point.
V bird's eye view.
Yeah. Oh no,
Oh,
that's not
it
it.
said free cam. Never mind. Right, the one right above it said free cam.
Free cam.
Invisible?
No. Yeah, but I can't use my mouse to look around, which is really weird.
Oh, I
And
got
it's
you.
really slow. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the player POV. All right, so back here on the high ground, there's the health pack that's like right behind you on the high ground that probably would have been good to go for, but we just kind of push the kill
Oh, I didn't
rather
even
than
think about that.
yeah, rather than playing to stay alive. Honestly, playing to stay alive is probably just the more important thing at the moment, considering you're 1 HP.
See, in this situation, I was thinking to finish the kill, and as you see, she jumps over me. I didn't even notice. I was looking for her, couldn't find her. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get this med pack. And then I seen that. So if you see the blue outline,
Yep.
she basically
Yep.
jumps over, and I was just like, where the fuck she go? And I was like, let me just get the health pack, and that's why it was just an easy kill.
Yep.
But yeah, I see what you're talking about, just staying back in the health pack.
Yep. So, watching health, maybe a little bit of awareness there as well, because we didn't really notice where she was.
Disappear! My shield, please. We're hurt. They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Uh-oh, kind of stood in that, and then we ended up getting shredded. So died.
Yeah, double ulted there by
Yeah.
the Squirrel Girl and Namor.
Yep, double ulted, and the Namor ult comes down to awareness because we weren't paying attention. Because what were your two options that you could easily have done? You had two options that you could have done that would easily have gotten you out of that ultimate and to stay alive there.
Backed out or hit my RB ability, the circle.
Yep. So exactly, if you had just noticed it and backed up, then you wouldn't have gotten stunned, and that would have kept you alive. So for one, you step out into the open. Two, you're not aware of the ultimate, or you're not paying attention to it, and then that gets you killed, and we didn't use abilities in time or do anything else. So easily preventable if you're doing one or multiple of those things.
Denizens of the deep.
Yeah, I think I was trying to push up with my team. Instead, I should have just backed off. Kept that off angle.
You stop them in their tracks.
Maybe engaging a tad bit too soon, which just gets your octopi shredded. You notice how your team hasn't engaged yet, so if you wait like 2 seconds for them to all engage, well then that just means that there's a lot less pressure on you for when you go to engage, and then then that means that you're off angle right here. This alternate angle that you have would be a lot more effective because you don't have as much pressure on you if you're throwing those down after your team is engaged, like right now.
Okay.
If you do it at the very beginning when they can all, because now all of them can turn at you, all 16
All are
look at
focusing
you.
me.
They all have all of their abilities, etc. But if you did it right now, then they're all distracted. They might not have all their abilities. They're going to have a split attention. But then we were like a hair, like now after that point we were like actually a hair late to engage with them. Like the whole team was like kind of running and doing stuff, and we're kind of sitting there for a minute. So I'm gonna turn on my audio real quick.
They should have known better than to betray me. Tell them! The ocean shows no mercy, nor does its king.
Namor, that was a long time coming.
Attack them!
It's now or never. Stop them.
Today, Namor stands with Wakanda. I will not fail them. How refreshing.
I'll probably just be spamming during this time, so you can just get you have the chance for headshots and getting picks in and just putting extra damage. You weren't really like hiding for any particular reason,
Got you.
so
Just
no
kind
reason
of
not
just
to
being
spam.
there.
Yeah, no reason not to spam and just try to get extra damage.
I'm ready to put on a show.
Okay, so we use our ultimate. Um, uh, Firstly, it's been a minute, so good thing that we are using it because we kind of held on to it for like about 2 other fights or so.
Hmm.
So just note that because we're holding on to it for so long, uh, we just miss out on getting like it's ultimates that aren't used just don't get value, right? So the longer we're holding on to it, the less we're charging up new ones. So we're getting less ultimates out per game, which just means less value and potential fights that we could have won quicker. Now, I think we won. I guess the one fight we had died with it. So the last fight we won and we didn't need it. So last fight was fine. Of course, you don't need to use it if you're winning the fight. Here we use it, and what's the problem? Why doesn't it get value?
Luna popped. Oh,
Yeah. So Luna pops ult. Luna pops ult. Let's see when does she do it. She technically does it before you throw your ultimate.
yeah. I was trying to. So the Groot is my cousin. He said he was gonna ult, and I was gonna tag team with him.
Yep. Which unfortunately they just Luna ulted it, and then everyone tanks it. Now I think that your ultimate can one shot, so if it landed it straight on top of some of their squishies, but it doesn't look like it really got any of the squishies. I think it just
I'm ready to
I think
put on
it
Poked him.
I think it went on top of the tanks because if you watch the health bars,
Oh, I
they're
guess I could have put it in their back line where the Namor and Squirrel Girl were.
yeah. So it looks like you just kind of got the tanks. So overall, I would just say awareness because even if your cousin's making the call out, if you notice the fact that they're using Luna ult, then maybe it's not a great idea. Or unless you see a bunch of squishies stacked up on top of it where that you can one tap. Um, Other than that, like be aware of the fact that they do have that ultimate because maybe you can try to bait it out in some other way and then use your ult combo afterwards, and then just you completely avoid it if you do that. So be aware of ultimates. Ultimates, generally speaking, we don't have to go into the depths of ult tracking if you're not interested, but um, ultimates, generally speaking, come about every other fight, right? You have this fight that let's say you have your ultimate this fight, you use it this fight. Next fight, you won't have it because you're recharging it. And then the next fight after that, you will have it. So you won't have it in the next fight. You will have it in 2 fights from now. So 2 fights is generally speaking how long it takes to charge up ultimates. And just think about when was the last time they used it, right? Did they use Luna ult last fight? If they didn't use Luna ult last fight, she's got it this fight. So something
Okay.
simple like that. And that will help you be aware of the fact that they have it and could potentially help that to get more value and not no value. Sometimes you're throwing your octopi out by themselves, which doesn't seem to be getting as much value as if you had both of them out, because then obviously it's a difference between one or two of them shooting at
Hmm.
people. So if you try to use them both at the same time, then they'll be kind of around the similar. I mean, you'll just get more value out that way. You had it on cooldown, off cooldown there, so you could have used it. But obviously, fight's lost now.
I know these stretches. That is much better. Attack them!
So I don't think that was the play, just because of the fact that they're probably very quickly gonna be able to. They're in a very defensible, easy to block position at the moment. So I think that your octopi, which are a bit longer of a cooldown, I think that they're probably just gonna either get destroyed or they're gonna just run around that corner, and then they're not gonna be able to do anything anymore if they just run around that corner. So I think that they weren't maybe the best play here. Because then they're just not going to do anything with it as soon as they get around that corner. Whereas alternatively, if we save them for when the fight's happening, then they'll be once again they'll be distracted and they won't be able to do anything. Or if you get a better off angle with it where they can't just run away, you could maybe pick off a squishy in their back line.
Behold the god of thunder!
Yeah, looking back at that, yeah, it was literally got no value for the.
Namor does not lose.
We're gonna go over in a minute. We're gonna go over a few things in the training range. Like we're gonna go over some aim stuff. Once again, we kind of just chucking that one in there when we probably just want to let them recharge their cooldown at this point. Get regrouped. Watch your health. Very handy thing in this game, just like in Overwatch, to have bound is the I need healing button. It'll get your supports an in-game audio cue as to where you are. It'll get you healed a lot easier. So I would recommend doing that, and also maybe even running after health pack is another good option.
How refreshing. Can you call yourself a defender?
Once again, notice how you're just chucking it into the fight. So let's go over a few things. Let's exit out here and cover a few topics that'll hopefully help. I haven't even tried that Doom mode yet. Do you know what that is?
It's basically just team deathmatch.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Okay.
So I'll go in there and hop in a game before I start playing comp.
Okay.
Usually.
Gotcha.
Wise to show some respect.
Alright,
Consider
so,
yourself
couple
conquered.
things. Firstly, let's talk about crosshair
Here they
placement.
are.
So, you're on controller, so that will obviously hinder your ability to aim. But crosshair placement, fortunately, is something that you can practice and be working on even on controller, and it's a way to improve your aim and really help with it. So crosshair placement in my own terminology and my own definition is placing your crosshair in the best place possible to make shots as easy as possible. Now, if you are playing the game and you are aiming here and walking around aiming here, you will naturally be hitting body shots. Body shots do significantly less than headshots. So if we look at the damage difference here, it's the difference between that and that. So that's almost 3 ticks versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 ticks.
More
Right,
foes
so
to
you're doing
conquer.
double damage, and I'm pretty sure that's the same across most characters. You're doing double damage for landing headshots. Now, if you're aiming down here, you have to adjust a long distance to go up to the right, up to the left, because you're already aiming down. So that means that there's a lot more that your crosshair needs to travel. It's more difficult shots to land headshots if you're doing that. But if you're walking around and you're aiming up here, you're going to, all you have to do is adjust to the left, adjust to the right. Left, right. A lot easier shots to make. If you're just doing your thing and you're just shooting down corridors, shooting into shields, shooting at people, and aiming down here, you're just naturally going to hit body shots. It's just how it works. But if you aim up a little bit more, then you just naturally hit headshots. Just because you're aiming here. You're just doing all the exact same stuff, but you're now hitting headshots. Namor, let's see, do you have to aim above their head? I think it goes under hair.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an arc.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, but yeah.
So, yeah, at a distance, at a far distance. Yeah, like that. So at a far distance, aim above their head. Like right above their head.
Consider yourself conquered.
right? So by just doing that simple thing, you're going to be hitting a lot more headshots. During your entire game so far, I've maybe seen you land like 1 headshot, maybe 2. So just a lot more frequent means a lot better damage and easier damage, just by keeping it at that level. Now, another big step to crosshair placement is also like pre-aiming, aiming where you know people are going to be. So we know that there's enemies on this right-hand side, so why would we come into the fight and like kind of do a slow pan off to the side if we know they're over there? Or if we're coming up here on the high grounds, right, we know that there's somebody over here, so, and we're going to pre-aim at head level. We can do this very easily because you can see around corners as well.
Yeah, third person.
Aim up here, so that when we're turning these corners, we're already aiming right at head level, right as we're turning these corners. So it's just pre-aiming in that way. In the same way you look up on a tank and you look down at people on a slope or downwards. So adjust for heights and whatnot. So that means that if some people are up there, you're adjusting for the heights and the depths that they're at.
Got you.
All that makes sense? Any questions on it?
Mm-hmm. No, I guess I never really like focused on it for this game. I mean, for Valorant, I would have to focus on keeping my crosshair head level, but I guess for this game, I was just thinking just damage is damage, but yeah, I guess I need to focus on that crosshair placement.
Yep. All right. Now let's look at your octopi with their ranges. 30 meters.
Attack them.
Oh wait, sorry, they're not even looking. Oh wait, okay, they can look that way. Alright, so they can look that way.
Yeah.
How do I get them to look at who the heck I want? I guess I can just use my right click.
That your right click is usually.
Nope, go away, Linus. No. Nah, yeah, they're just looking at everything.
Protect your king.
Double KO.
Okay, so now we've reached the limit, and we're actually there's no thing Luna. So this is you can fun fact, you can ping and see distances. So 50 meters. Let's see.
Attack them.
No, go away. Stop it, Luna.
More foes to conquer.
No, so it looks like when they're empowered, they get a little bit of an extra distance boost. It doesn't matter what distance they're at. So let's see. 50, so it's 50 meters, 40 meters.
Protect your king. Succumb to the ocean.
No, they're just going after Luna.
Double KO.
Ah, sorry. There's like no efficient way to test this in here. I think it's 40 meters is what I've heard.
There's a practice range down low.
Yeah, they're bots that they can shoot at.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you're right there.
Yeah.
Like you go down there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let me see. I can push him.
Yeah, you can adjust the distance and everything.
Four seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, 40 meters.
Denizens of the deep.
Alright, so they have a range of around 40 meters. Right? Which is going to be pretty darn good for you, because the further away you keep them, the harder it is for them to hit your turrets. But the problem is that we're frequently chucking them into the fight, which we don't need to do, and it's just going to make them easier to hit. So if you're putting them further back, and I also liked how when you were kind of like in more of those defensive positions, you were putting them up on walls. I think that's really good as well. So putting them up on walls, put them, oh, that guy got stuck. Put them up on walls, put them at those further distances, put them when they're distracted. That way they're getting max value, and you'll be able to do a lot more with it. Make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
After watching that fight or that replay, I noticed I was just throwing them just on the floor.
Yeah. So putting them. Put them a little bit further away, even if you're doing a quick like that, right? That puts it behind you and your team. and it'll just
Oh
make it.
yeah, just tossing it behind you real quick.
Yeah.
That's 3.
And then notice how when they're together as well, they're a lot more efficient than when they're by
Yeah, you
themselves.
can basically one-shot someone if you
Yep.
right-click them.
Yep. Okay. So let's see. Final
Typical
thing.
air breather.
I guess let's keep going. And then we'll come back if we need to. Match replays. I have to put the code back in.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Is this your first time coaching on Rivals?
I did have another session before this.
30
So.
seconds before
What?
we return.
Technically
Okay.
second time.
Okay.
Lots of experience. I mean, I have lots of experience in Overwatch coaching.
Oh yeah, that's why I seen your profile and I was like, well, the games are very similar. I
Yeah.
mean, characters are different, but gameplay, everything, mechanics are very similar.
But now I think they're great.
Definitely. All right.
I'm just a sword for hire.
You swapped to
This
Psylocke.
is all.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I was trying to focus the healers, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because they were
different version.
keeping everyone alive most of the time.
Got it?
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll make it work. I think pick wise, she might be a little bit hard to get. Like, she's not as defensive as a character. I'd say she's a pretty solid attack character, or she does really really excellently in like duelist maps where like if it's like a control point or something like that, because then you have like just free roam of everywhere. But here you might
True.
struggle just to have uh to be able to like get onto the sides of them from because this is you're kind of holding point and your team's not going to be with you at any point. But we'll see how it goes.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Here they come
So
now.
honestly, in the future, like maybe even swapping them up, Namor on defense and Psylocke on offense might be more efficient here. You just have great angles to approach from here.
Anyone willing to help?
So they kind of rolled over your team. So reasons for that. One, you're just not in a great position to
Just
do very
poking,
much.
not doing much.
Yeah, you're just poking, not doing very much. I would say you're kind of playing out of range. Now Psylocke does have some decent, like okay poke range, but doesn't want to. You're playing at an uncomfortable range right there. Like you're playing out of your character's range. Being closer. What's one way that we could have been closer during that fight?
Being in being behind the tanks.
Being behind your tanks or their tanks?
Or my tanks.
Yeah, being behind your tanks, though that doesn't really play to your playstyle very well, because Psylocke is a flanker. She's a duelist. She is kind of an opportunist character who plays off on the sides. I'd say a lot of the time.
Maybe on the other high ground then, the one
Yeah,
to the left-hand
I
side.
think that other high ground would have been closer and gotten you into a better position to do things because you wouldn't have been able to, like if you're just behind your tanks, then you would have just been shooting their tanks the whole time and you wouldn't really have any squishies to melt in their back line. And you would probably also take extra damage because you're just soaking up all the damage on the front line. But if you're up on that high ground, that gives you better angles to work with and gets you closer.
Yeah, I guess seeing this now, yeah, because she in the practice range, she's usually like 15 to 20 is like her sweet spot,
Out of sight.
and that's a lot further there.
Yeah, I'd say Psylocke probably even less than like 15 to 20
That's better.
works decent when they're not moving, but you have to also remember like the fact that that you're working with moving targets when you're on practice range. I'd say Psylocke's probably even a bit closer than 15 to 20 preference range. Maybe we can check it out in the practice range or whatever. Because right now we're playing her kind of like a
I am ready
mid-ranged
to put on a
character, and I
show.
don't think that this is the way to be
Back to the
trying
ocean
to
steps.
get value on her.
Doctor Strange is
I guess watching this back, it was 5v6 basically the whole entire time.
Okay, so now we're getting in close. Okay, but we're kind of going off the tank. We kind of jumped into the front line instead of jumping behind them and getting a back flank angle. Oh, we didn't TP out there. Could have easily teleported. So no teleport. We're playing when we do engage and fight. Oh, shoot stuff through. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong team there. Nice. So we get a tank. Namor is able to get out of it easily, so we use it on. I'd say like characters are able to kind of get out of it. Pretty simply. I think you might have be able to get more value if you had used it on some of the squishier characters
On
in
the
their
point,
backline.
yeah.
Because you kind of only get the strange. And then we could have maybe gotten two kills, maybe 3 kills.
Out of sight.
Okay. We're prolonging your engagement when your team wasn't there yet. He got hit by the little minion. All right, so problem was that you were staying in the fight when your team was dead. You didn't have any teammates with you, right?
Yeah.
So if your team is dead and you have lost the fight, get out if you can, and if you cannot get out, let them kill you. That way that you're not, and I think you very easily could have gotten out because of your high mobility and invis. So you easily could have just disengaged, but instead you just kept going and kept going and kept going, which just made it so that you ended up just dying because you had stayed in the fight too long. So watch kill feed. Watch for when your whole team's dead. That's maybe a little bit of awareness again. So we noticed a few times where we just haven't been paying attention to your surroundings, and then that's gotten you killed or led to other unfortunate decisions. So awareness. Make sure you're paying attention. Awareness is might be maybe a bit vague. Like how you wonder, well, how do I work on awareness? That seems like a bit vague of a topic to work on. How do you pay attention better? Paying attention, you work on that really the same way you work on anything else, in that while you're playing, you want to make sure you're actively focusing on it. You're not just playing to play, you're not just playing for the sake of trying to win, but you're playing to improve. And when you play to improve, you end up actually going places. And what you want to do while you're playing is think and focus on the thing you're trying to work on. So, for example, awareness, and you think to yourself, awareness, 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 kill feed, kill feed, kill feed. Where's their team? Where's their team? Where's my team? Where's my team? And you just basically give yourself a constant stream of reminders to pay attention to your surroundings and to think about your surroundings. And when you constantly do that, your awareness will be better. And when you're wearing it, and then when you do that for a long enough period of time, it forms it as a positive habit. And that once it forms as a habit, then once it forms as a habit, then you don't really need to worry about it anymore. It just will come naturally. You'll just be able to do it without really thinking about it. And that's your cycle of improvement. Final thing is just don't try to do everything all at once. Just focus, because if you do that, that gets overwhelming. Instead, focus on one category of things or 1 to 3 smaller things within a category. All that makes sense? Any questions on any of that?
No, I understand what you're saying. Kind of just focusing on kill feed and focusing on their placement while also focusing on my team's placement.
Yeah. One of the bigger things is just where's their team, where's your team. Okay, that'll help you. Knowing where people are, it helps you to be able to know what to do there. Okay. Real quick, let's see if we can go look at Psylocke's. Oh, I guess we could. Darn it. I guess we'll look at that when we start to wrap up. That'll probably be more time efficient. So whoopsies. I guess I should have just stayed in there. We'll just look at this for a little bit longer, and then we'll once we start reaching the end, we'll go back to the practice
The right
range
heroes can make
and
all the difference.
wrap up in there.
The enemy has arrived.
Creatures may be
Okay. Fun things to know on this map. Um, that it's just good to know positional advantages. To your darn it, this is where I wish I could free roam, and maybe
To
I
the
need to
right.
mess around. Yeah, you can stand on the high ground on the top right hand side.
Yeah, looking at this now, I'm seeing that right hand side.
Yeah, you can stand on the high ground. There's also a little mini high ground on the top left-hand side that you can stand on, like above this building, on the roof, basically. So like different high grounds that you can take, and your octopi would get a lot of value from under there as well.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Nice kill. Good job.
I unleash the Shanti's power! Wash our foes away!
It's destroyed now, so you can't actually see it from this angle, but it was there before it got destroyed. Awareness. Right, we don't notice that there's a. Oh wait, what the? Oh wait, you just teleported there or something, or became uninvis. Yeah, there's a. They have somebody on your high ground to the left there. I don't know if you noticed
I
it.
did? No.
She, right there, blue.
Oh shit, yeah.
She came. I think you saw her for half a second. She kind of just. I guess maybe it's like mostly
Yeah.
off your screen. It's off your screen. I don't. Not a big deal.
Yeah,
Audio
that.
awareness. Oh, we get a
I
kill.
think that.
It's not a big deal. That mainly come down to audio awareness there. Like that. Audio awareness.
That is much better. Attack them!
Yeah, I'm noticing my turret placement's actually really bad.
Yep.
Like I could easily have thrown that on the wall and it could have gotten so much more.
Yep. Okay. Probably could use your ultimate in. You could use it in there, and they think that they're safe from their invis, and then they just get dropped on them. Okay. Because they're also all grouped up for the invis. Here when we're using it, looks alright. I don't know if this is the optimal timing for it because they have so much open space to easily run out of it. They're not crazy grouped up. You're throwing it kind of at the tanks instead of the squishies. So I just don't know if this is optimal usage just because like you're using it when they can easily get out of it. You want to be using it when they can't easily get out of it. So they're in a really tight bunch. So when all of them are grouped up and you're more likely to hit it on multiple people, you want to use it when they don't have a lot of space to move around and get away from it. You want to use it when.
So would you have used it in the storm or in the Invisible Woman ult?
Back when they back here, this might have. So they have a Luna up. I don't think I noticed that they were using that. That's my bad. Actually, and maybe not with the Luna ult. I probably wouldn't have. I didn't realize that was active.
I didn't notice that either. But if that Luna ult wasn't active, would you have popped it?
I would have.
And the Invisible Woman's ult?
I would have probably tried to pop it. If when your team was still in there, but when everyone had backed up, I probably wouldn't have used it. Because then there's no follow up on it, and it's gonna be hard to follow up on it inside our ultimate. Mostly it was like when your whole team was there and when you're all like, up inside of it, but not afterwards.
So we were still basically going toe to toe, basically.
Yep. Note that you are underutilizing your shield. They're a very easy way to
Yeah.
disengage. We haven't really been using that very frequently at all, and you've died multiple
I've been
times trying to
trying to
use it.
focus more on using it. I noticed that I didn't, because I once I did the coaching session with you. I figured I'd look at some replays to see, and I noticed I wasn't. So I'm
Yep.
trying to use it a little bit more now.
Yep.
I just want I should have put on the other pillar.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing to note is that they will sustain longer if they're in tight like that. I don't think that was bad because if you put them on the other pillar, they're also just gonna die quicker.
Oh yeah, okay. I like the idea that you did when in the training, where you just looked behind and through them. I think that's something that I definitely need to start doing. Because that's something so simple. It'll probably make a
Yeah,
big
like that.
difference.
Right, like notice you just chucked it in again. Got
He just
melted
fucking
immediately.
murdered, yeah.
I didn't think you had it in you, Richards.
You're going for the tank. So, target priority. I've noticed this a little bit,
Oh,
right? So target priority. Who's should you be shooting at? Who should you be looking at?
and this one, this invisible woman, she's already half health.
Yeah. Is that her Invisible Woman? I think that's the. Oh, that is Invisible Woman. Okay, that's a skin for her, I guess. So yeah, Invisible Woman. And that's not just because she's half health. That's also just because she's the better character to look at. Um,
And she's backline, yeah.
yeah. So the question of who should you look at, who should you shoot at? Generally speaking, easiest characters possible because then they'll actually die. And by design, tanks are the hardest characters to kill. They have the most health. They have shielding abilities, tanking abilities. They get healed the easiest. Tanks are designed to be hard to kill, and if we're just shooting at them all the time, well, then we're usually not going to get as much value as if we're picking off their back line, who will die a lot quicker. So if you have equal opportunity, meaning you can just as easily shoot at the Inviswoman or the Iron Man as the Doctor Strange, then shoot at the squishier characters. Or if you can go and easily like seek them out, go and seek them out by taking an off angle like you're doing right now. You can take the off angle and seek out the back line. If you're at the front line, then maybe the only thing you could shoot at is the tanks. So going and seeking out the back line is also going to be really good. So I like this idea, but one, you're maybe doing it a hair too soon because once again they haven't fully engaged in the fight. So if you waited an extra 5 seconds, then they might have been more distracted when you're engaging on
Yeah,
them.
and that and that Iron Man probably would have been focused on everyone else, not me.
Yep. So, wait a hair longer for the fight to engage, shoot at their back line, actively seek them out, and then also, um, so that's not to say you never shoot at tanks, right? Because obviously you shoot at tanks sometimes. You shoot at them if they're low, if they're out of position, or if they're the only thing to shoot at. Then you shoot at the tanks. Those are the cases. Or if they're like a really,
Yeah.
really high value character in that moment. So it's kind of will be situational. But if you have squishy or tank, usually squishy is the character is going to be the idea to go for. Because then we're kind of pushed off that flank pretty quick. Okay, so we're looking for it, and you kind of use it without anybody even being in it, right? You're looking for the placement. Who is even there that we're using it on? I guess the water
I was
boy.
Yeah, I was trying to predict more so because they were pushing the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With your ultimate, it's gonna be a lot more effective if you use it when they're all grouped up. During a fight, they will the natural progression of a fight is they'll back up and push in, and back up and push in, and back up and or they'll spread out group up, spread out, group up, spread out, group up. And if you catch them when they're on the group up, then you'll be able to get a lot more value. We're kind of catching them on the spread out where they're not, where everyone's kind of split up. And we're using it, if we're using it when they're all on the edges of your ultimate, then they're going to very easily be able to get out of it. But if you use it when they're all at the center of your ultimate, well, then they have to run towards the outside, and you'll probably be able to catch them.
Yeah, I guess I've never noticed the double circle until just right now.
That indicates the damage. I think it's within that middle circle is
Inner circle.
you can one tap the squishies with that. If they're on
I
the
never
inner
noticed
circle.
that. Yeah, okay.
I think I've only noticed that from being hit by Namor ults. Okay. Let's exit out. We're gonna cover a few things, or I guess one that we're gonna look at the Psylocke range, and then we're gonna wrap up. Okay, so Psylocke.
I fought Oni, slayed demons.
Okay.
This
So
should be easy.
practice range.
The enemy has arrived.
1, 2.
You lose, demon.
Okay, I guess do it here. 1, 2.
Double kill.
15. 1, 2. Oh, now we found some fall off. Right, so Psylocke now will need 3
Did that
shots.
hurt? Good.
20 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right.
Double kill.
Okay.
So, reasons why being closer is better. Firstly, you'll experience fall off damage, meaning that the further away you go, the less damage you're doing. You also notice how your gun has spread on it. The further away you go, the more spread out your bullets are. So notice how these aren't all even hitting headshots anymore when you're back here.
Did that hurt?
When you're back at 25 meters, there's a bunch of those that are hitting body shots. So now you're doing even less damage. So fall off damage, spread, and then also, let's see, is this? I mean, there's the fact that that's a projectile.
Yeah, your LT doesn't work after I think it's like 20.
Oh, that's actually less than I thought it was. Is it? It's 20 meters.
Yeah, I think so. It's like right before 25. I can't remember.
Mind over
Oh, it
matter.
is. Okay, so it's like 24 meters. Huh. Okay,
Yeah, no, it's like right before one of them.
Yeah, well, all right. That's actually closer than I thought it was. I didn't know that. It's good to know. So, and then let's see. Other things that impact this is your dash range.
You're mine.
So that's outside of dash range as well. How much does your dash do? Your dash does a good old chunk of, what is that, like 50 damage?
Like 2 bars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 bars. So
Here
your
they come
dash
now.
range is
Step aside.
10 meters ish, right? So that's going to impact this because we can do like these combos where we can do a shoot, right click,
You're mine.
and dash and finish it off, right, or something
Did
like
that
that.
hurt? Good.
Things like that.
I guess I really don't. I don't use the dash. I need to use the dash more for DPS. I'm using it more as a get the fuck out.
Yeah, you don't always use it for damage. I think it's best used as like a finisher. If you notice that someone's low, you can use it
What a disgrace.
to finish them off.
Finish it off. Okay.
Especially if you're like reloading, if you're out of ammo, or if you can dash in and get a melee in, and that does even extra damage. So, especially if you're at that max range. So, let's say you don't have your right click, that could be your finisher. You can dash,
Aside.
melee,
What?
shoot.
The enemy has arrived.
Melee will do an extra little bit as well, and you can follow up with more shots. So, honestly, I'd say probably like within 15 meters is probably where you want to be. Your preference, and then being
Gotcha.
closer might even be better depending on if you're getting on their back line, coming in like this, and getting even closer will be even better. So getting within that 10 meters,
You lose.
right?
Yeah, getting closer.
But definitely your preference range probably being more within those distances. You can play a little bit further depending on the circumstance, but you don't want to sit at this distance. You're a lot less effective, especially when the fight's going on and your shots are look more like this. You're just taking so long to melt people.
I guess I do that too much. I try and build up my ult charge, and I guess it really that does nothing.
Yeah, that can be good if you're like just kind of poking in between fights, but don't focus on building ult charge during fights.
Got you. Okay.
Because you want to be focusing on winning the fight during the fight, not on building ult charge and then losing. Usually, you naturally build ult charge if you win the fight. Right, so focus on winning.
Okay, yeah.
If you're in between fights, you can poke to get ult charge, but you never really want to focus unless you're like, unless you're really close to getting your ultimate and you're trying to play like you're like 5-10% away from your ultimate. Then you can
just
focus
playing
on
your life.
Yeah, play for your life. Try to poke and get your ultimate. But other than that, if you're not close to your ultimate, then don't try to play for your ultimate. Play for winning the fight.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
I guess that's something I don't do very well.
Yep. Let's wrap up. I honestly didn't give us enough time. Whoopsies. Let's look at abilities really quick. Honestly, Psylocke we only saw like a minute of, so we don't talk too much on that. Namor. We talked about the fact that you don't use this at all. I saw you use it like once. You use it more frequently when you're in danger and you're about to die. Your right clicks looked solid, but your octopi placement could be better. Place them a little bit further away. Place them in safer positions. Use them at the same time. Place them up on walls, on ceilings. Right, place them in hard to hit places and within 40 meters, so they're able to do things. And they're gonna shred things if they're together. Overall, that was like a higher end of a medium. So it's higher end of a medium priority for you to work on. Ultimate usage, don't hold on to it. Wait for them to all group up, and try to get value when they're all grouped up. So like notice if they're in the middle of this, it one taps that guy, not the other guy. So look to use it when they're all grouped up and not spread out. When they are in this tight little corridor in this room here, when they're not out in the open. When they're out in the open, they can run anywhere. If they're in the room, they can't really run anywhere, which can be very easy to land it. Overall, though, ultimate was probably lower, like lower end of a medium priority or lower, something like that.
Got you.
Lower end of medium. Then next comes mechanics. Crosshair placement, aim head level. Headshots, much easier if you're aiming head level. Pre-aim, aim where you know people are going to be. And also target priority, right? Don't just shoot at the tanks the whole time. Shoot at those squishies and the easier characters to shoot at. We just talked about that like a second ago.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you are just focusing on those things. So overall, that was like a medium priority, and then next comes your awareness. Pay attention to your surroundings. Right, where is their team? Where's my team? I think there definitely were like a bunch of deaths that were caused by not paying attention to that.
Focusing on the kill feed and stuff like that.
Watching kill feed. Where's their team? Where's my team? Those are probably some of the big ones. Overall, that was like a medium or higher end of a medium. But it's also a harder one to work on as well. Next, finally, positioning. I don't think that positioning was one that we really talked about too much. I think that we talked about ranging, so make sure you're in your appropriate ranging. Make sure you're using cover. Off angles, I think you were doing a decent job with taking those off angles. Make sure that you're taking high grounds. We just didn't go over it much in depth. Overall, probably like a lower end of a medium or medium. So to put that all in order, number one, probably ability usage to start off. After that, probably after that would come, let's see, what do we want to put next? next, there's a few things that could come next, honestly.
You never had a
Um,
chance.
Any of them stick out to you?
I noticed my ult usage wasn't the greatest. The crosshair placement, something that I really didn't think about for this game. Like I said, I just thought about for Valorant, always shoot at head level, but just thinking I have to do that for this game as well. That's something that I never really thought about making a priority, but
Yeah.
definitely something that needs to be done.
Yeah. So why don't we just say, like, we can say mechanics comes next, and then we can do ult usage, awareness, positioning, something like that, right? Some of those are pretty close to each other, so it's not going to matter if you focus on them out of order a little bit. Just make sure you're focusing on them and giving them attention. Any final questions? Oh, we went over a minute, but that's okay.
No, not really. I mean, seeing the DPS gameplay was a little bit eye-opening at certain points. Like I said, I watched that same replay and I didn't see the same issues. But talking to you and seeing what you're seeing, it makes a big difference.
All right, cool. Awesome. I'll get you your recording.